Saitama and Gojo. Two of some of the most recognizable anime characters within this so-called new generation of anime manga, both with one thing in common. They are the strongest within their verse, with Gojo being the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer within the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, and being able to set an infinity between himself in any given space, and Saitama, the strongest man alive. The man who can end any battle in something as simple as just one punch. This video was requested to me on Cash App, so if you'd like your video idea to be made, feel free to do so, although you're not obliged to. Also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. It's free and you can always unsubscribe if you feel the need to later. Enjoy the video. Satoru Gojo is undoubtedly one of the most powerful characters within Jujutsu Kaisen. His unique ability, the Limitless, is a testament to his unmatched strength and skill as a sorcerer. This technique enables him to bring the concept of infinity into reality, allowing him to manipulate and distort space at will. While the Limitless is a power inherited from the Gojo family, Satoru was born with the rare Six Eyes, which allows him to utilize the Limitless to its fullest extent. Due to his immense power, Satoru Gojo is widely regarded as the strongest character in Jujutsu Kaisen, granting his spot against the likes of someone like Goku. Go watch that video, by the way. Even the most potent attacks from his opponents are often ineffective against him, as he can easily warp and manipulate space to his advantage. His Limitless technique operates on a similar principle to the paradox of Achilles and the tortoise. In this paradox, the fastest runner can never catch the slowest because the pursuer must reach the point where the pursued began. In the same way, Satoru's opponents can never quite catch up to him or land any meaningful blows, as he can always manipulate space to maintain a distance between them. Alongside his Limitless, Gojo possesses a diverse collection of curse techniques at his disposal. He complements his arsenal with his Limitless ability, which he can use to enhance his curse techniques even further. One such technique that highlights his immense power is called Blue. When Gojo uses Blue, he channels a significant amount of cursed energy into the execution of this technique. This causes the concept of negative numbers and negative distance to come into existence, warping physical space and drawing matter towards an impossible point. The result is a powerful gravitational force that is similar to that of a black hole. The more cursed energy Gojo channels into this technique, the more devastating the damage becomes. The destructive power of Blue is immense, and it can easily demolish entire buildings in a matter of seconds. This makes it a formidable technique that few opponents can withstand. When combined with Gojo's other curse techniques and his Limitless ability, he becomes virtually unstoppable. In the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, the reverse curse technique is a powerful process that allows negative energy to be transformed into positive energy. This is achieved by multiplying two sources of cursed energy together. This transformation allows destruction to be turned into creation and negative energy to be converted into positive energy. Satoru Gojo is a skilled sorcerer who is able to utilize the reverse curse technique to perform his curse technique reversal, Red. This technique allows him to reverse the effects of the strength and Limitless, which normally causes a strong attracting force. Instead, the curse technique reversal, Red, creates a strong repelling force that is represented by a small but extremely bright red orb. This orb embodies the concepts of convergence and divergence, which are brought into existence by the technique. When released, the curse technique reversal, Red, creates a massive shockwave that easily blows away everything in its path. This technique brings the concept of motion and reversal into reality, allowing Gojo to manipulate physical space and force his opponents back. It is a powerful technique that allows him to turn the tides of a battle in his favor. Despite its power, the curse technique reversal, Red, also has its limitations. It can only be used for a limited amount of time before it exhausts the user's cursed energy, leaving them vulnerable. Nevertheless, when utilized correctly, this technique can be a game changer in battle and is a testament to Gojo's skill as a sorcerer. The technique known as Purple is created by combining the two cursed energies of Blue and Red into an imaginary mass that is capable of destroying anything in its path. Unlike the attraction of Blue or the repulsion of Red, Purple is an immensely powerful and destructive energy wave that can obliterate anything it touches. It is considered to be Gojo's most powerful technique, as it can reduce any object into nothingness. Regardless of its durability, according to the Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0, Purple works at the atomic level, meaning that it can destroy matter at the most fundamental level. And while you think this is very impressive given the fact that Gojo is a very strong character, Saitama is just a whole other beast. Though whether Saitama can actually hit Gojo is still up for question. We can get into that a little bit later. One Punch Man is known for his incredible strength and ability to defeat any opponent with a single punch. Despite his immense power, he often holds back his strength in order to make his battles more interesting. However, when evaluating his abilities, it is important to consider only what he's displayed so far, as if you didn't, you'd just be getting into headcanon territory, but you know, he's broken his limiter and blah 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 blah. One notable display of Saitama's power was his Serious Punch, which was able to counter Boros' strongest attack, the Collapsing Star Roaring Cannon. This attack was capable of wiping out the entire Earth's surface. In fact, a guidebook even states that the attack could wipe out the entire planet. And believe it or not, another guidebook stated that it could destroy an entire star. However, this isn't necessarily the most consistent, as we do have two guidebooks stating completely different things. And even in accordance with the anime, planetary is far more consistently the case, making Boros' attack an incredibly powerful and destructive force. Despite this, Saitama was able to neutralize the attack with a single punch. However, this is actual child's play when compared to his fight with Cosmic Garo. One of his most impressive feats within this fight is Serious Table Flip, a technique in which he pulverizes the entire surface of IO with a one-handed gesture. This attack is incredibly powerful and can deal devastating damage to the target, creating debris and a massive shockwave in the process. In addition to its destructive capabilities, the Serious Table Flip is also intended to be disorient and remove the opponent from the battlefield. This technique can be used to battlefield remove the opponent, essentially throwing them off the battlefield and rendering them unable to continue the fight. This makes the Serious Table Flip a highly effective technique for incapacitating opponents and securing a total victory. However, this is also child's play when compared to Serious Punch Squared. It involves Saitama throwing his Serious Punch and Garo copying that Serious Punch and colliding with Saitama, creating what's called the Serious Punch Squared. This punch was so strong that it creates an explosion capable of wiping out entire star systems, possibly even galaxies, just depending on what you think. The force of the attack is said to be so great that it creates a hole in space, leaving no trace of the destroyed cosmos. It's worth noting that the attack is not solely the result of Saitama's strength alone. It's said that he provides only half the force required to generate the explosion. This can be argued against by saying that Saitama grew to a point that he eventually became capable of performing this feat on his own, if you take the graph at face value. Estimating the scale of destruction caused by this attack is a topic of much debate among fans and experts alike. Some believe that the destruction of this was just a few solar systems, while others argue that it could potentially wipe out the entire galaxy, or multiple galaxies. Regardless of the exact scale, it's clear that the Serious Punch Squared is, as of right now, the largest feat within all of One Punch Man. As I mentioned prior, Saitama's growth speeds up so much that he eventually becomes powerful enough to crack open Cosmic Fear Garo's armor. Even before removing his limiter, Saitama possessed faster than light senses and reflexes, enough to see the back of his own head in the mirror just moments after training. Saitama easily dodges Flashy Flash surprise attacks despite his killing intent. Flashy Flash has both FTL feats and statements. Saitama casually throws aside Awakened Garo's 4-limbed attack in his final form with just one hand, in spite of the massive gap in skill and martial arts between the two at the time. You might be able to argue FTL plus to MFTL for Saitama, just kind of depending on the way you interpret some of these things. Despite Gojo's speed, there are several reasons why Gojo's abilities are not foolproof. In the manga, he is ultimately sealed within the prison realm, a powerful cursed object that can trap anything or anyone within an unescapable pocket dimension. Jaku devised a plan to use the prison realm to seal Gojo during the Shibuya incident, as the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer couldn't be defeated through conventional means. Jaku enlisted the help of Mahito and the other special grade curse spirits to execute the plan. While inside the prison realm, Gojo was able to move around by putting his blindfold back on. as time does not pass within this unique space. The ability to move without time is considered a prerequisite for having immeasurable speed, as it would mean moving in negative seconds. Question then arises, does Gojo possess immeasurable speed? However, the credibility of Gojo's statement is doubtful, as he merely says looks like time doesn't pass here, which suggests that he is speculating on the possibility of time not moving within the prison realm. However, nonetheless, it is worth noting that when Gojo makes statements like this in the manga, he is usually proven correct. Moreover, there is no visual evidence of Gojo actually walking or running around. He is only shown putting his blindfold back on, while technically a form of movement, does not demonstrate actual speed. The statement suggests that Gojo's ability to move inside a space where time does not pass is not very significant, because Gato explains that a person inside the space can still die, indicating that the space is more related to the process of aging rather than the flow of time itself. Additionally, there is a mention of Gojo's reaction speed, which may be related to his ability to move and react quickly. It is not necessarily a demonstration of any type of speed feat. It further suggests that the space is more related to aging than the actual flow of time. Overall, while Gojo's ability to move in the space is impressive, it may not be as significant as one initially thought, as the limitations of the space could still affect him in other ways. In addition, it would be inconsistent to assume that Gojo's ability to move in a space where time does not pass would mean that he has immeasurable or inaccessible speeds. This is because he was ultimately sealed by his enemies, who were able to calculate his finite reaction time and use it against him. Therefore, it is unlikely that his ability to move in a space where time does not pass is a reflection of this form of speed. Gege Akutami, the creator of Jujutsu Kaisen, has made a statement directly stating that the concept of time not passing in the series is related to the physical flow of time. This is further supported within the manga itself, indicating that the space where time does not pass is a physical location where time operates differently than the outside world. Therefore, it is unlikely that the ability to move within the space is not related to the immeasurable or inaccessible speeds, but rather a result of the unique properties of the space. At the end of the battle between Saitama and Cosmic Garo, Garo realizes that he was in the wrong and begins to explain to Saitama a martial arts technique as he envisions it. Garo describes it as an inescapable set of ever-changing attacks, which he himself has not learned yet, but believes Saitama will be able to master it without the help of God, a being who can manipulate and travel through all of time. Garo also believes that Saitama would not only master this technique, but also improve upon it, as throughout the fight, Saitama had been out-copying Garo. In the world of One Punch Man, martial arts and other abilities are not always equivalent to each other, but Garo believes that Saitama's skill and power make him capable of mastering this technique. Garo's belief in Saitama's abilities is further supported by the fact that Saitama had already surpassed Garo in many aspects of their fight. It's important to note that different series have different interpretations of scaling and power levels, so while this martial arts technique may not be the same as Garo's hacks, it is still a significant skill that can make a difference in battle. In One Punch Man, Garo has a unique fighting style that incorporates all of his previous fighting styles, which he calls his fist. Saitama views Garo's fighting style as using hacks or tricks. Garo clarifies that his style is actually just a combination of various fighting styles, which includes techniques such as the subspace gates or the nuclear fist of gravity fission. These techniques are infused with the hack's abilities and have been implemented to become a part of his martial arts style. During their battle, Saitama copies Garo's hand sign, which causes God to take away Garo's powers. As Garo's powers fade away, both he and Saitama imagine their inner universes within each other and manipulate their inner particles. Garo uses his cosmic hacks to create new particles and anti-particles using cosmic rays, which Saitama also copies. This demonstrates how different abilities and techniques can be combined to create unique fighting styles within the One Punch Man universe. While Garo's hacks abilities may be considered tricks by some, they are an integral part of his fighting style and can be used in conjunction with martial arts techniques. Saitama's ability to copy Garo's hand signs and use it to disarm his opponent shows how different abilities can interact with each other in different ways. After spinning back in time, Saitama acknowledges that Garo's martial arts are incredibly powerful due to their unique applications, then defeats Garo with a punch that was unleashed while Saitama was within the time-altering hacks field. This punch is described as abnormally powered, likely due to the energies that were generated previously. This confirms that the feat was not achieved through sheer speed and cannot be considered a measurable speed. It's mentioned that the same attack was executed on Jupiter's moon of Io, despite the time reversal, indicating that the attack bypassed Saitama and hit Garo while he was within his time-altering Hax field, resulting in the fight being won with 0 punches. The reversal of causality is responsible for the punch appearing to land, even though no actual punch was thrown. This reversal means that the effect occurred before the cause, so the punch had not already happened, but its effect was already evident. This shows that the feat was not achieved through sheer speed, rather through the reversal of causality, leading us to one of the ways Saitama can bypass Gojo's infinity. Causality reversal is a concept in which the cause and effect are switched, meaning that the effect occurs before the cause. Other words, the result of an action happens first, followed by the action itself. During Saitama vs. Garo, Saitama uses causality reversal, as we talked about previously. Saitama copied this technique handed to Garo by God and traversed time and ended the fight before it began, meaning that the effect, the punch, occurred before the cause, Saitama's movement. As a result, Garo was defeated with 0 punches, even though the punch had already landed. This is an example of causality reversal because the effect, Garo's defeat, happened before the cause, Saitama's punch. And because the cause and effect are entirely swapped, the 0 punch is absolutely unavoidable. If Saitama reversed the causality, he can simply hit Gojo without hitting Gojo, thus ending the battle, not only due to the sheer difference in AP and durability, but because of the fact that he can do this. There are some arguments to be made about what it actually takes to bypass Gojo's infinity. One of those arguments is that if you scale above the infinity itself. Just for more information, if you can prove that something is both stronger and faster than what Gojo could perceive, then the infinity will be negated. This is mainly because of statements like Gojo's infinity filtering off of mass, speed, and shape. So theoretically, if you can prove Saitama scales above Gojo's infinity, then it would just be negated. However, this isn't necessarily my main argument for the video, so this is mainly for your interpretation. There also really isn't any argument to be made for Saitama being resistant to Gojo's domain expansion, which shoves an infinite amount of knowledge into the target's mind. The only possible argument to be made is the fact that Saitama can maybe just ignore it or something. However, this is a pretty dumb argument, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's very safe to say that the win con for Gojo is to maybe land a domain expansion. However, the sheer difference in speed makes it incredibly hard to even vouch for Gojo. Even attacks like Hollow Purple won't work on Saitama either, as Saitama has resistances to durability negation, and even if you don't agree with this, he'd still outpace Hollow Purple, which you can get to FTL via it being imaginary mass, which Saitama far exceeds. Saitama just has more going on for him in everything essentially, which is why he would mop the floor with Gojo. Anyway, thanks for watching, and bye.